Right, so what is algebra? Okay. Algebra. Try to write same speed as I'm writing, so I will not wait a whole year for anybody, right? There we go. So algebra is a branch of mathematics that uses letters to represent numbers and quantities, right? These letters are called variables. So anytime you hear me belt out the word variable, know that I'm talking about a letter, all right? Okay. Right, so basically a variable is a letter that represents an unknown value or a value that can change, all right? I need you to go down. So then we have constants. Constant is a fixed number that does not change. All right? Then we have a coefficient. All right, so coefficient is the number multiplied by a variable. All right? So then we have an algebraic term. An algebraic term is a term is a single mathematical expression made up of numbers, variables, or both. Of numbers, variables, or both, connected by multiplication or division, right? That's an algebraic term, right? Then we have an expression, an algebraic expression. How do you writing going? Them hand must be hurting.
You know, so I just warming up.
That we talk about. Come in and save here, Amani.
Me and myself, sir.
All right, me, myself, and I. With God, God is at the top, but God don't help those who don't help themselves. Always remember that. Just try to explain that to students. If you're praying and you're not doing your part, God ain't have no time with you. So an expression is a combination of terms using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. But without an, I'm gonna write this in right, but without an equal sign. All right, very important. An algebraic. All right, I feel like I'll go to the next line.
Excuse me, sir. I still on algebra expressions.
All right, go ahead. Algebraic equation. An algebraic. Let's put an expression. Sometimes there's just use the word expression. I mean equation, sorry. An equation is a mathematical An equation is a mathematical statement with, all right, I'm gonna write this in red. With an equal sign. So an equation has an equal sign, an expression does not, right? Showing that two expressions are equal. All right? Scrolling down. All right, so we're going to deal with like terms. Hold on here, right? Like terms. Terms that have the same variables raised to the same power. All right, so terms that have the same variables raised to the same power. So like example, 2x and 5x, or 7y squared and 17y squared. The next one. All right. No 17. And 10y squared, right? So like terms. All right. So another example would be that 7x and 18x squared are unlike. Terms.
Well, answer an algebra equation.
Still there? We had it right, guys. We had it right. Unlike terms, right? Also, 3y and 12x, right? All unlike terms. All right. All right. So we're going to do it simplifying. Simplifying algebraic expressions. All right. So to simplify means to combine like terms or reduce an expression to its simplest form. All right? So that's how we're going to jump in here. First things first. So those who have to finish writing, finish writing. I just want to run back through everything I just wrote, and then we'll jump into the first exercise to make sure that we understand what is being said, right? Let's lock in.
Sir, I'm not seeing your screen.
Ooh, all right,
yes, sir, you're not sharing screen.
Yeah, so I get cut off. I lost you all for a while. All right. You're supposed to be seeing it now there. I'll share the whole screen.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So we go in. Algebra. Algebra is a branch of mathematics that uses letters to represent numbers and quantities. These letters are called variables, right? So we're basically going to deal with letters that are going to replace numbers, right? Letters for numbers is basically what algebra is, right? Now, a variable is a letter that represents an unknown value or a value that can change, right? So if I use X, this variable represents a number, right? Constant is a fixed number that does not change, right? When I give you a question and it has a number in it, that constant cannot change, right? Coefficient. This coefficient is the number multiplied by a variable, right? A coefficient is the number multiplied by a variable. It's like the number that's going to be in front of any variable that you are given, right? Algebraic term. A term is a single mathematical expression made up of numbers, variables, or both, connected by multiplication or division, right? So you'll see what the algebraic term is just now. You'll hear me belting out the word, so you're going to see it, right? Algebraic expression. An algebraic expression is a combination of terms using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, but without an equal sign, right? Algebraic equation is the same thing, but it has an equal sign. It shows that two expressions are equal. Like terms that have the same values raised to the same power. So like if I have 2x and 5x, because these numbers are automatically raised to the power of 1, they are like terms, right? So it's the same variables with the same power. These are like terms. So you have 2x. 2x is like 2x's, right? That and 5x are like terms, right? 7y to the second power and 10y to the second power are like terms, right? Then we have 7x and 18x squared are unlike. Also 3y and 12y are unlike, right? So you're going to deal with simplifying algebraic expression. To simplify means to combine like terms or reduce an expression to its simplest form, right? I want to put one note here in red. We can, no problem, regard, we can only add or subtract like terms, all right? Put this as a note.
Sir, I'm not seeing your screen.
Anybody else not seen my screen? Right, you would have to leave. I will send it for you, and you all could probably try it, right? So, okay, look at how this works, right? Now, one thing I want us to work on also is like when you're making an x in algebra, because we don't want to confuse a variable x with a multiplication sign, I want you all to make it like two back to front c's. You all seen this? This is how we're going to make our x, right? Okay? Back to front c's, two back to back c's, right? So like you put a c and you have a next c, and that's how we're going to make our x. Because we don't want to confuse it with a multiplication sign. Are we clear? Are we clear, guys? Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So the question is 3x plus 4x, right? This is number 1, right? Now, if I want to simplify, it's like you have 3 x's, you're going to add 4 x's to those 3 x's, and how much x's would I get? Anybody? 3x plus 4x will be how much x's?
Sir,
Anybody?
repeat.
12, sir.
3x plus 7. Very good. 3x
7x.
plus 4x would be 7x. Simple as that. Because they are like terms, they are the same x's, is like 3x and 4x, you can't add them together, right? Now, we have simplify. Let's see if I can carry this up. Right. Simplify 5y minus 2y's. So it's like you have 5 y's, guys. It's like you have 5 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? If I minus 2 y's, how much y's would I remain with?
3 y's.
3
Yes.
right? This is the easy part of algebra, right? Everybody good there so far?
Yes, sir.
Cooling down,
Yes, sir.
right? So, I'm gonna leave this one for homework, right? HW. Right. So, we have 7m minus 2m plus 3m, right? The
So
like terms,
we don't have m.
huh?
3 don't have m.
Right. So the like terms here would actually just be the 7m and the 2m. So 7m minus 2m would give me 5m, and then you have to put back the plus 3. But you cannot add 5m to plus 3. So this here is the end of your question. Okay? 7m minus 2m give me 5m. You cannot add that to 3. This is the end of your question here. Okay? So look at this one here. They are telling us to group the like terms and then ultimately simplify, right? So I'm going to put the like terms together. So 5p would line up with what? What's the other like term here in this question?
3p.
Right. Now, what sign is in front of 3p?
Subtract.
Right. So this will be 5p subtract 3p. Then next we have q, 2q. But we're looking at the sign as in front of the 2q. That is what we put here. And then the other q will be plus q. Everybody good there? So you have 5p, you minus 3p from it. How much p would I remain with?
2.
2p. 2q plus, now, how much q that is there? 2q plus how much q?
1.
1q, right? So I want to write a note here one time, but 2q plus 1q will be how much q? Plus how much q?
3.
3q. So I want to put this one time here as a note. All right? So note when there is no number in front a variable, right, which is the same as a coefficient. Coefficient. All right? Okay? So there's no number in front of the variable, which is like there's no coefficient, all right? 1 is understood. Right? 1 is understood. Okay, guys, 1 is understood. So here, I'm going to put it in red. This is actually 1q. Everybody good there? So you have 2q plus 1q would give me 3q. Who is not clear on that? Right, working. Right. I'm going to leave these so you all to figure out, right? So this is homework. Homework. All right, homework. All right, all these would be homework. All right. And I like how this minus it small. So this whole thing here will be homework, right? All right. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze in substitution before we leave, right?
Can you can scroll back up a little bit, please?
Which part do you want to see?
Um,
The note?
thank you, sir.
Okay. I'm glad we still do class today. Look how much work we get done. So I want you all to write a note on substitution for me, right? So we have substitution, right? So substitution is basically replacing a variable. What variable is again, Makai? Makai, what variable is again?
My boy, you're not in the room. Say here, no?
Yeah, here, bro. What's that variable again?
Like symbol.
Ramdas, what's that variable?
A letter that a letter that represents an unknown number.
That man paying attention, boy. Yeah, I know you're into that getting trouble, Makai. That's okay. You had the recording. When I done this, go through the recording over, right? So replacing a variable with a number. So you're basically replacing a letter with a number, right? So like an example. Example. Right? If x is equal to 2, then if I have 3x, right? 3x plus 1, and I want you to find, okay, let me put find. Find 3x plus 1, okay? Now, if I have to find 3x plus 1, is basically I need to replace x with 1. I want to put a note here before we jump into this, right? Note. Note. When a letter and number or letter and letter are written without an operation between multiplication is understood. Right? So example. Example. If I have, like say, 3x, which is above there, this is the same as 3 multiplied by x. If I have, like, say, x, y, this is the same as x multiplied by y. Okay? If you have PQ, this is the same as, or let me say 2PQ. This is the same as 2 multiplied by P multiplied by Q, right? Multiplication is understood in between, right? So I'm just going to work out the question from above here. So they want us to find 3x plus 1 when x is equal to 2. So look at how simple this is. 3x plus 1 would be 3 multiplied by, now brackets imply multiplication, right? So I'm just going to replace x with 2 plus 1. Okay? Brackets imply multiplication, right? So 3 2s will give me 6. So this will be equal to 6 plus 1, which would be 7. Right? This is how simple we work out a substitution question. Right? Those who have to write, right. I have one more note to put here, and it is the term linear equation, because that is all we're going to be working with underneath here, a linear equation. So a linear equation is an equation where the highest power is 1. Right? The highest power is 1. Okay? So, like, example of a linear equation or a linear expression, whichever one, would be like 2x plus 5 is equal to 11 or 10. It's equal to 10. This here is a linear equation. The highest power, right? A linear equation is an equation where the highest power is, well, I forget to put the highest power of a variable. Do me a favor here. I need to put the highest power of the variable is 1. Is 1. Right? So I just want to do the first 3 here because it's done 12:29. I have a class just now again. So I just had a kind of de-stress to get ready for my second class, right?
So your blood pressure, that's me that high with me, sir?
No, it's just when I teach it, I just bring it to them. I just give my all in them. So in the process of giving my all, sometimes I just had a de-stress to give you all again for our next class. So I will be halfway in that class now. So to jump from one class into our next is not recommended. So there we go. Substitution, right? Replacing letters with numbers. Evaluate x plus 5 is equal. It's done x plus 5 is equal to. Evaluate x plus 5 when x is 3. So what am I replacing x with here, Alex? Alex, what am I replacing x with? For number 1.
You replacing x with 3, sir?
So there'll be 3 plus 5, which will give me what, Alex?
It'll be 8.
Question done, right? Next one, they want us to evaluate y plus 4 when x is equal to -2. What am I replacing -2 with, Sophia Torrington?
-2.
So it'll be negative 2 plus 4, which will give me what, Torrington?
Two.
Excellent. Two signs are different. So you minus and keep the sign in front of the larger number. That was excellent, Torrington. Ramdas, you want 3a plus 2b when a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3. So there'll be 3 by, what am I replacing a with, Ramdas?
2. 2.
So it'll be 3 by 2 plus 2 by, what am I replacing b with?
3. 3.
Let's go. 3 2s are?
6.
6 plus 6, which is?
12.
12. I'm doing one more and then we're calling off the class there. Now, actually do 2 more, yes? Because I see a bracket here and want nobody to get confused. Right. So this is 2x plus 1. What am I replacing x with for this question, Taylor? What am I replacing x with?
1, 2.
You see, not 1, bro. What's the question? X is equal to what?
Negative 1, 2.
Right, negative 1. And then I had a plus 1 here. Now 2, remember I told you brackets mean multiplication. 2 multiplied by negative 1 will be negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is what, Taylor?
Positive 3.
No. 2 signs are different. What do you do, bro?
Subtraction.
Right, so you get 1 and keep the sign in front. Which number?
The largest number.
Right, so it'll be negative 1, right? So let's do this last one here. And we calling it off. You're going to do the first 2 sections for my homework, right? So I have 3 by x plus 2. What am I replacing x with here, Zia?
So you'll be replacing x with negative 1.
For number 5? What is x equal to for number 5, Zia?
So I'm not sure.
Look at the question, Zia. Read the question, Zia, number 5.
Oh, sorry.
Right. So this will be 4 plus 2. So x would be 3 by 6 because 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 3s are 18, right? So homework, right? We end the class there.